Well, I'm back with my lovely little ornamental cherry. And as you can see, it is absolutely amazing. Its roots have really appreciated the pot that I chose for it for now. Its leaves are a lovely color, and they're growing new leaves all the time. Now, it should come as no surprise to anybody that in wiring up this little cherry, I did it wrong. I've been looking at some of Peter Chan's work from Heron Bonsai on YouTube and realized I am not doing this wiring at all right. The curves are perfectly fine, but actually the wire's supposed to go around the branches a lot more. In Peter Chan's own words, wire everything. If it exists, put a wire on it. Now, he can do this in about 3 minutes. I cannot, and I've got to take off all this wire in order to correct this situation. But I can actually, I can see how correct he is, because if I put this wire around and around the branches, I'm going to have a lot more control over how the branch actually curves, which will be very nice for me. Now, I just want to do this without hurting anything. I don't need to cut anything on this because the little branches I actually do want curving as well. I don't know how much of this I can get away with, but I am certainly going to give it a really good shot. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. I think that's one. I'm really lucky that the wire I chose is really easy to work with. Look at this. Look at this. In just the short amount of time, this is less than a month. Less than a month. And look, these branches are actually holding their shape. This floors me. I didn't think it would happen this fast, and it did. Yeah, I also won't have to anchor it to the trunk either. There we go. I don't know if I'll reuse this wire. I might reuse this wire. Here out on the west coast of Oregon, we've had such high humidity. It's really hard to go outside to work, which makes bonsai a very lovely prospect for me, because I can sit with my little plants in their little pots on my desk and work with them. Oh, look at this. This is fantastic. This is exactly the type of curves in the plant that I wanted to see. It's already happening. Granted, this one has a bit of a crick in its neck. I don't know if you can see that, but that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I think I will try to, I'll try to reuse this one because it seems like about the length that I would have chosen in the first place. Let's see. Here. We'll do this. I'm a little paranoid about, you know, like really hurting the tree. Yeah, watching Peter Chan on YouTube, because he's been doing this for, what, 50 years or more? I think, at least 30 years. And he just does it so fast. Like 2 or 3 minutes, he's got an entire pine tree wired and ready to set outside. There we go. I think that's okay. Now, what I need to do is just get this around the whole branch. It doesn't, it wants to, doesn't want to cooperate because I don't think I anchored it correctly, but no, I didn't anchor it correctly. So this is not going to, the wire will work, but I have to, I really need to learn how to do this a lot better. Come on. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here. I'm going to anchor this underneath this one. And it won't move. And if you're hearing those chirps in the background, those are very angry hummingbirds. There we go. Around there. And again, I want to try not to compress these tiny little branches. Eventually I will want to wire them too. There we go. Oh, that seems better. That seems a lot better. There we go. There. Come on. Feel bad for the rest of the United States, which is a generous portion of the rest of the United States is about 100 degrees right now. So if you are in one of those areas, ooh, good thoughts for you. Ooh, here we go. Here's where it gets tough because I don't want to hurt I don't want to hurt or crush the ends of the branch. These are not pine branches, so I can do real damage to buds if I'm not very careful. I think there should be right there. I'm going to snip this wire right here, make sure I don't have any leaves in the way. Now that the wire is all the way around the branch, instead of having to connect the wire, I can just move the wire the way I want it to go. There we go. It does seem to pull back a bit, so maybe if I'm... There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Well, that's much better. That's much better. Now it has that downward, now this branch has that lovely downward curve, and it doesn't have little bits sticking out all over the place. I am amazed that this actually, this took the shape so quickly. This needs to be out of the way while I do this one. There we go. actually not sure this is going to be long enough. It might be, maybe, kind of, sort of. Here we go. I probably should try clipping some of these bigger leaves, but it's growing so nicely, I kind of don't want to risk it. There we go. All right, I'm getting a little braver now. Lovely. Not crushing anything, am I? No. There we go. Get out of the way. Out of the way. There. Nice. Oh, much better. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that so much better. Probably don't even have it enough wire on it, but it is giving me the curve that I want it to have. There we go. That is much better than I had before. Do I really want this branch? I still don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep it for now, because if I cut it off and I feel later that I should have left it, I'm gonna feel sorry for myself. There we go. This should be. One more anchor. There we go. Come on. Ah. There we go. I didn't quite anchor it well enough. The anchor's sliding around. Come on. Dealing with wires is funny stuff. Here we go. That's better. That's better. It's really when you don't know what you're doing. It's a process of trial and error dealing with this. Here we go. And whoop. There we go. Come on. Down here. Through the crook. I might be able to straighten this crook out just a little bit. We'll leave this end long just because I know this branch is going to grow fairly quickly, and I'm going to need to wire more of it. There we go. And this may not look like I did a whole lot, but you know what? These curves actually look more controlled now and a lot more in the fashion that I wanted them to be. Now I'm going to just let this live for a little while. I do have its pot. I found a good pot for it, but I do not yet have enough soil items to make a good bonsai soil for this cherry. All right, well, this is good for this one, and then I will start on the rosemary next. Well, here's the lovely little rosemary that I started with, and it is looking pretty good. It's growing new leaves and all the time. It looks nice and healthy. The problem I have with this rosemary is that this soil is so light that when I put it outside, it's constantly drying out. It is terrible how fast this dries out. I am going to have to change the soil before winter, but to do that, I actually need to get a bonsai pot for it and then decide what kind of bonsai soil I'm going to use in it. The only thing I'm going to regret is the fact that I can see moss beginning to grow. I know it's moss and not algae, and I'm beginning to see moss grow on the surface here. And if I change the soil, I might lose it. I don't know. I mean, moss is pretty hardy, but I'm hoping I can actually get a decent amount of moss on this plant, on the surface of this plant's soil. So today I need to make hard decisions because these, although it's starting to get the bend I want, that curved bend, all these branches it's just way too much. It's chaotic. There's no real shape to it. So I want just a couple of good branches going that way. This branch doesn't actually go out at all. There we go. Ooh, that was a dramatic cut. I do want branches that are all going that way, so, you know, doing this is a little scary, a little painful. There we go. That's better. I like this one, but I don't like this right here. It just doesn't seem to add to it. Ah, not strong enough. I love those little ones, but they're not strong enough. There we go. I really wish I had good bonsai tools that'll have to wait. Maybe for the holidays. Maybe. I like how spaced this one would be from the rest of them, but it's smaller and it's interfering with this. So I think this one is probably going to have to go. Nope. All right. Woo! So, see, it's actually starting to take shape already, isn't it? Now the top is still kind of chunky. This, actually, if I wire this, I'll bet I can bring it around to the front. So I can get rid of this one. This one definitely has to go. It's teeny tiny, weak, and slightly brown. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. There we go. And this, I'm going in the wrong direction. There we go. Now if I wire some of these, maybe, yeah, I think I'll get rid of this middle one too. There we go. All right. Now comes the fun part. Yeah, here we go. Such a fantastic plant to practice on because it can take so much abuse. And I'm just going to nip off the end of this wire. And I'm going to point this in that direction. Right like that. There we go. Garçon, more wire. I find it interesting that there are a lot of people who consider indoor bonsai to not be real bonsai. Now, I don't think I'll ever have true just indoor bonsai. I can't really consider my greenhouse bonsai to be indoor bonsai, although I will bring these in at points, you know, as decoration for my living space. Now it's really hard not to crush these leaves. I'm not gonna worry too much about tufts of leaves that get wedged in there. Rosemaries grow leaves back like crazy. I'm more concerned with the shape of the branch. Off right there. And now there we go. Give it a wind-blown look. It's starting to take shape nicely, isn't it? It is too bad that I don't have any real bonsai teachers close to me that I could, you know, bring my efforts to show them so they can correct me on some of my mistakes. But that's okay, because I'm pretty sure by the time my mistakes make themselves evident, I will know how to fix them next time. YouTube being the great equalizer. There we go. Come on. Down here. Maybe get rid of this one. Actually, get rid of these two. They seem to be superfluous. There we go. I'll get rid of this one too. There we go. Oh, and that tiny little right there. There we go. Leave that one. Although it's so small, can I even get a wire on it? I don't know. So I can try. Let's make a little anchor there. Front. There we go. I'm going to totally go with the advice of wire everything. I'm just going to pull some of these excess leaves out. To there. And I'm going to try to bend this down at a fairly dramatic angle. There we go. Oh, one more little branch to go here. This way. There we go. Yes. There we go. I do like that a whole lot better. Look at that. I have wired every single branch. I've made my decisions as to, you know, the actual shape. This is fantastic. I've actually learned a lot through this process, especially how much wire to put on the branch. That I really do need to wire all the branches. I'm going to leave this here for now to make sure that this continues to lean at the angle I wanted. I really shouldn't need to leave it for too much longer than a couple months, six months at max, and by then I'll be into winter, and this will have a new home. So this is now the wind-blown rosemary. So on the seedling front, I have some successes. Here's the Norway spruce, teeny tiny little infant, and 2 Rocky Mountain pine babies. And you'll notice that this one and the Norway spruce are both starting to grow secondary leaves. I've got them in the greenhouse most of the time now. If they're out on the deck railing, they don't get enough light. So I'd like them to get a full day's light inside the greenhouse. And the greenhouse is nice and warm. I did have 2 Norway spruces. Unfortunately, the second Norway spruce actually developed damping off disease, and it folded over within about 20 hours of its sprouting. It still even had its little seed coat on, but once I watched it just fold right over, I knew there was no saving it. I'm still hopeful that I will have more seedlings, but that just might take time, or they may not sprout at all, but I should give them a full 2 months just to be sure.